Well, hi, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me in my shop. Today is July 21st, and it's been a few days since I've been in my shop. And the reason for that, fantastic weather outside. And I just can't bear to be in my shop when the weather's so good. But today, it's another fantastic day outside. But here I am because I also can't stay out of my shop. Yeah. So, the other night, as I was going to sleep, thinking about this project, because sometimes I do that while I'm going to sleep, I remember pointing to these adjustments here and saying, you see, these are capacitor adjustments, even though they look like they might be inductors. These guys here. And I didn't say any more about it or do any more about it until I was laying there thinking, and then I realized, well, wait a minute, I never adjusted those. In fact, I don't even know what those are. Oh my gosh. Again, there's no table of instructions in the service manual. Instead, there's just this picture with information. But Jim, there's two pictures with information, for crying out loud. And I just forgot about these. Also, when I finished the alignment in the last video and then I did the run through tuning in stations, I found the high band, the 10 to 30 band, dial accuracy was not very good at all, which kind of left me wondering what had happened. Well, I know what happened. So, I think what I'm going to do, and I also noticed that the IF appears to be tuned to 457, not 455, which is not a big deal, but it's a deal. I did not adjust the IF transformers at all to this point. I've skipped them on the basis that things seem to be okay. Well, now I'm ready to mess the whole radio up, including the IF. So I think I'm going to run through the entire alignment process. Oh, one more thing. Something I've said on many of my videos, absolutely true for me, is the first time I go through an alignment process on a radio, usually I have to write off the whole thing to education, to learning about the radio, learning about the intricacies or the idiocies of me, or whatever it might be I need to learn about. First time through is usually quite a mess. And I'm lucky if I even get it maybe 80%, which is I think where this is. I think this is probably 80% now. But I want to get it higher. It's a communications receiver and it deserves to be tuned up really well. So that's what I'm going to do. So the IF adjustments amount to these three cans here, and underneath also. The same three cans I have to get at from underneath, or can I put my alignment tool all the way through from the top? Let's just try it. Because often these are made for that purpose. So 1, 2, 3. This is the IF. I'm not going to turn anything. Well, I'm going to avoid turning stuff. What's happening here? Okay, nothing's going through on these. These look like they need a screwdriver or something like that. Oh, I'm going to put a metal screwdriver in there. That's another thing about doing this. The amount of play that's in the slot head. The slot is so big in the slug head for the slug. Okay, well. My work is cut out for me now. Okay, I'm going to warm up the radio and get it ready for doing this, and we will start again with the alignment of the IF. Oh, not again, first time through on the IF. Okay, so I have the receiver operating. It's not really fully warmed up yet, and I have the signal generator operating here. This is for a sweep of the IF, so this is starting at, I think it's starting at 440. Let's go a little lower. Let's start it at 430. So start at 430. That's 25 below, so that would be 480 at the top. So we'll set the top to 480. That puts 455 right in the middle of the sweep. There we go. You can see something on the scope. Here, have a closer look. Wow. That doesn't look at all like what it should look like. It should be a nice curve coming down and back up. So What exactly this means at this point, first blush rather, bad alignment. But it could be other problems here. So I'm going to let this warm up for a while. I'm going to go drink some coffee, and then we'll come back and start messing around and see what we can do with this thing. Okay, let's have a look at what I can do here. Hopefully make this better or not worse. So the shape is way off to begin with. And this is 3 different transformers and 6 different adjustments piled on top of each other is what we're looking at. One of them is going to be the boss one. Why do I say that? I don't know. I don't know why I said that. This is the start. Signal's going this way through the radio, is it not? Or is it going the other way? Which way is it going? What will it matter anyway? So we're just going to pick one IF here. Oh, not with this. Right. Oh, right. I have to get a proper tool. Oops. Okay. Getting a little excited here. Here's one. Let's see if we can do it with this. I don't think that's going to go in. No, this is not the right kind. Okay, I'm going to stop and get the right tool. I got too many tools to go through live here. Okay, let's try one of these. It's a pretty thick flathead end on it. And I checked it'll fit in. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. First, let us look at 1001 logical laws here. We're going to pick one and see if this can't provide some kind of guidance. Just out of the blue, that one. Westfield's law of job seeking. Never sell more of yourself than you can later buy back with skill and performance. Never sell more of yourself than you can buy back with skill and performance. Don't bull. No bull crap. Okay. That's what that means. Here we go. No bull. So I'm picking just one of these at random pretty much. Okay, I think I'm in. Now while watching the scope here and seeing what change occurs when I turn this. Oh, it definitely changes it. Okay, so that tells me the test I've set up is valid. But that one's not going to get us anywhere. I've got to put another signal generator signal into this deal here so we can mark where 455 is. How come this is not biting? How come you're not biting here? So this guy doesn't want to grab the... Is it different than the others? I can't imagine it is. And I cannot see all the way to the bottom either. I don't think I really want to put the metal end in. Let's just try it again. It's tricky even just to get to the bottom. And we can see a little. Ooh, we can see things happening on the screen there on the scope if I look over. But it's not because I'm turning a slug. It's because I don't know, I'm banging into something. Okay, that's not going to work. So we're going to skip that one for now and just keep it in mind. Go on to the next one here. Okay, I'm in on this one. Again, it's moving. It's moving. It's just, it seems to be moving about this point, as if this is the 455. Okay, well, I'm hoping to generate some motion in this area of it. In fact, you can see a little tiny dip here. I think that's one of these transformers. Okay, again, just at random. Not a lot of change here. Okay, this one. Oh, we got stuff happening here. And a last one. Oh boy. So nothing dramatic with any of those. Could there be something else going on here in my setup? So I have the sweep set non-linear, or just a regular non-linear. No, linear. I have a linear sweep set here. That could affect the shape here a little bit, I think. I don't see what... Have I got too much going here? Not enough going? Doesn't seem to make any difference if I turn it up or down in terms of strength. What about tuning the main capacitors? Sometimes, I'm sure there are instructions on it. Let's tune it here. It shouldn't really make any difference. I don't know what that bump was there. Of course, not making any difference, as we would expect. Band selection, none of that should make any difference. The weird shape is because of what? I don't have the answer here. I have one slug I couldn't turn. Is it all because of that one slug I couldn't get in there? Okay, I'm going to put the plastic end in again. It's just nothing. It's just like there's no feeling of reaching the screw there. Let me try something else here. Maybe I can just feel down deeper in there. Let's see what I got. I got all kinds of these. This is a ridiculous number of tools I have here. I'm lucky to have them. I'm not complaining. I don't want to try the metal end. Put a piece of metal down there, and there's a chance you will apply torque, and instead of the pressure being spread throughout the slug, it'll be on the sharp edges of this as you turn it inside the slot, and add a little bit of pressure, crack the ooh, let's try this one. Crack the slug. You crack the slug, then everything is for naught. Again, I just don't feel there's a slot in there. Oh, got something this time. Okay, I got it. But it's the same as the others. It's doing the same. It's just swinging it around. So what does this mean? What does it mean that I don't have a lovely shape on the scope there? What else could be throwing this off? So I really, the only time I've ever seen this kind of shape in a response curve is when it's out of whack. And with a little bit of adjustment, you can get it to come back and be a classic shape. Let's put another signal generator in and find out where 455 is on there. And I think some coffee is needed at this point too. Okay, my thinking here is we're sticking a signal into the front end of 3 series transformers and then looking at the result here. Why don't we look at the result here or here, and not all 3 of them, and maybe we can kind of fiddle around here and actually kind of pump the signal into different places and see what it looks like coming out. So one way of doing that, it would be, the best way would be to not move the input around. The input's here right now. We'll leave the input there. That's on the grid of the 6BE6 tube. And but we're looking at the end of the string. We'll look at it up here. Whoops. Let's just see what the instructions say. So connect to pin 8 of V7. That's what this is. This is pin 8 of V7. It's not going to tell me how to do it any other way. I'm going to have to figure that out. So let's take a look at the schematic here and see if we can figure something out. Okay. So I'm connected. Ooh, I'm connected here. Am I connected with 6BV8? No, 6BE6, isn't it? 6BV6. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I may have made a mistake here. So the good news is I went to the ophthalmologist yesterday. Got a new prescription. Gonna get new glasses, and she said to me, "You can't see through the glasses you've got right now." She's right. I can't see very well. So I'm really looking forward to getting some new glasses, and I won't make some of these mistakes. 6BV8. Somehow I saw that as a 6BE6. Or am I just thoroughly confused? IF alignment, DC voltmeter, pin 8 of V7. I think that's where I am, for crying out loud. Pin 8 of V7. That is where I'm connected. Okay. So ahead of that, this is really what I want to look at. Let me get the paper version here. Too much stuff on my bench. So I am connected here. 1, 2, 3 transformers ahead of it. What I'm going to do, and I'm feeding the signal in on the grid of this tube. This is the Q multiplier circuit here. So we're going in here. Oh, that is not turned on by any wild chance, is it? No, it's not. Because that would have a pretty interesting effect on all this, I would think. Be interesting to look at, but only once I have the shape corrected. So if I want to look at the signal as it comes out of, let's say, this transformer, then I could look at the plate of this, or the input to here. It'd be the first 6BA6, and that's pin number 5 by my fuzzy vision. I'm hold it far away. Pin number 5 here. Or this is what saves me all the time, a magnifier. 5. So we'll move everything onto pin 5. It's going to be a DC voltage there, so I'll use a capacitor to protect everything. And we'll take a look at it one transformer at a time. Okay, hold on. So I went to take off my scope connection here, and I thought I better remove the ground connection. There is no ground connection. I never connected the scope ground. Is that going to make a big difference? No, it won't. Because there's other grounds attached to the radio, so it didn't make a difference. I thought, well, I'm going to put this on there and the thing's going to straighten right up. No, it didn't. No, it did not. Now it's straight. Okay, continue on with what I'm doing here. And what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, before I do a coffee break, let's try to spot where the 455 is. Now, with some equipment, you can get a real nice spike on the screen here, and you can really tell exactly where that frequency is. That's not what's going to happen. What I'm doing is I'm just adding in basically on top of the just excuse me a second here. I'm adding in another frequency on top of the signal generator that's causing this. The result is you don't get a nice looking peak here, or pip. I think the pip would be the word for it. Instead, you're going to see an interference pattern along here, and the interference pattern has a shape. Let me get this going. Let me get this going. Here we are. Now, a little hard to see. I think I can up this guy, and now it's not so hard to see. So as I'm tuning the other signal generator, you can see it starting here, and then it travels down, and then it goes up the other side. Interesting. It seems to be very wide in this flat area. So now the question is, where do I tune this one? I'm going back and forth here. In order to, well, I'm going to put it at 455 here. Okay, this is 455. It would look like the center is here. And you're having a hard time seeing this, aren't you? It's very difficult for me to put these things on camera and not have them turn into kind of a smear thing. But you can tell there's something kind of neutral about this spot. That's where 455 is. Even a little more to the left. That just doesn't seem right at all, does it? The shape is not right. The whole thing is not right. I wonder if there's another way of looking at this. Look at the shape of the detected signal. Yeah, I'm going to drink some coffee and think about this a little bit. Okay, here we go. Let me just double check before I turn the radio on. So we're now on V5, the plate, which is pin 5, which if I count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're definitely hooked up to pin 5. This is the scope connection. I'm just going to clear my bench a little bit because I realize I got just too much stuff piled up here. It'll lead to trouble at some point. Way too much stuff piled up here. If some kind of panic ensues and I got all this stuff to look at on my bench, I won't be able to sort things out. Probably make some kind of mistake. What kind of panic? I don't know, you know, in the biggest panic, the door's behind me, I'm running. So, here we go. We'll turn on the set now. Okay, so the scope is doing what it's doing because of the DC voltage that's being presented to it. And then the capacitor here and other capacitors are charging and discharging. Hey, look at that. Well, that's quite different, isn't it? So I was on pin 8 of the other of the. So I'm actually at the detector before, which is why we were seeing a single line. Now I'm earlier in it, and the detection hasn't occurred, so we're seeing the RF here. I believe that's my story. Okay, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Now, what do we want to do here? We're going to want to find out where 455 is. We're going to want to find out if this is really working or not. So I'm going to play around with one. Oh, I've got this wire in the way now. Jeepers creepers. Okay, other side of a capacitor, and there's a couple hundred volts on this side of it. I want to get rid of that wire. It's in the way. I'm scared of touching it. Probably a dumb move here too. Yep, we got away with that. Okay, I'm in. Now we're going to turn a bit. Don't touch that thing. Well, it just seems to be bigger or smaller. Bottom part of the curve seems to be sliding back and forth. The top part just seems, ooh, I touched it. Just seems to be getting, you know, if we go on bigness, I keep touching that wire with my hand. Yeah, that's not very good. What about the top? Now I can be this could have been fairly well aligned, and I am just discombobulating it left and right here. But I have faith that in the long run I can restore it. Okay, let's turn this one. Oh, now that's interesting. The top is moving more. And at least, oh, it's moving a long ways now. That looks a lot better, doesn't it? Only thing is, oh, it's jammed. Don't jam. Don't jam. Please don't jam. Whew. We need to know where the 455 is. So let's bring that into the picture. It's all connected here. All I got to do is crank this guy up. Okay, so 455, you can see pretty clearly it's here. I can see pretty clearly. I'm afraid it's not so good for you. Yeah, you can kind of get an impression by. Yeah, so this is where I think we want these maximum bumps to be sitting right on this line here. Now, my signal generator is really in the right frequency. Yeah, so we're going to move that as best we can into that position. Am I doing the right thing here? I don't know. Okay, going the wrong way. Okay, so that was the bottom. Well, you can see what I'm doing. This will be the top. Okay, it's in the right spot now, but it doesn't look very healthy. It looks kind of, can I get it to look more balanced or something? Or get it a lot bigger? I should be listening to this. What's this sound like? Oh, it's just going to be a buzz. Well, let's listen while I do it anyway. Well, I can hear the volume going down and up. So, you know what? You know what we got to do? We got to use this voltmeter over here that I actually have it connected and it's not turned on. So I did have it connected. I do not have it connected anymore. So I'm going to reconnect it. This will read the AVC voltage on the radio. And then I can be able to use this as a guide to when I have the slugs in the best position. Okay, let's try again from the bottom. So this I think is the best. So this should only go down from here, according to my perspective. Down. Down. Yeah, it's a spot. That's a spot, all right. So the AVC voltage is saying the same thing that I've determined on the screen here. 455 is here and we've got the maximum happening right there. So that one's done. So we would leave that one alone. We move to the plate of the next tube. And it's the same 6BA6 tube. Is it oriented the same way? And it's actually oriented the same way. There's a reason for that. So we would count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same pin. You just move the show over here. Just move the show. Looks like I can do it live. Do it live. Oh, no, there's B plus on that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. There's a bare wire in here with a couple hundred volts on it. You know, I should be able to touch that and not get a shock, you know, like the bird on the wire thing. But again, I don't want to test out that theory. So here we go. So now we're going to look through 2 IF transformers, but the first one's been tuned. So any difficulty has got to be the second one. And I got this is in the way again. Let's see if we can pull it over a little bit here. Okay, power on. Okay, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes to warm up here, and then we'll do the next one. Yeah, I made one mistake here I should never do. I just turned the stuff on and left my shop. That's not a good idea. Your computer's running low on storage space. Uh-oh. I know what that means. I'm going to have to deal with that right away. So let's just take a quick look before my computer quits, because it's going to quit soon. And you can see on the scope, it's just a great big thing there. Let's turn down the input signal. Get rid of some of that distorting sound. There we are. Why is this so wide here? So this is the 455 mark. It's quite clear to see. I don't see. This is quite different looking than the last one. This is totally different looking. Why does it look like that? And what I mean is, well, why is this broad RF in here? Oh, you know what that is? That's probably the other signal generator. Let me just flip it off here. That's what it is, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put the signal generator back to 455. Okay, so this is 455. So that the peak appears to be occurring right on the 455 mark. It's right on this line here. I'll get rid of the signal generator again. You can see it right on. The shape isn't quite right, but the shape, I think, has to do a little bit with the sweep itself. So I won't go into it, but I think that's why you get a little wider on this side. Let's adjust and see what happens. So this is the one I had a hard time. Oh, we're right in. No problem at all. Okay, now what am I trying to do? Oh, it's not in now. Taking my hand on the chassis here. Got one hand on the chassis and the other one inside the radio. That's bad news, Jim. Don't do that. We're going to put a rubber glove on. There we are, I'm in. Okay, now, what am I going to try to do? I don't know. Make it bigger. Make it bigger, Jim. No, it's going. See, it's just maxing out right on that line. Bump the thing again. Okay. And the top one. Okay, so we get a little better shape there. That's nice. I like that. And it's right on the line. Let's bring the 455 back into it. Okay, so that's 455 there, and it's right on the line. Perfect. I think it's perfect. So now to do the next one, the third one, I would put this, I'm going to turn this set off again. I just don't like the idea of reaching in there. Let's give it a moment. Okay, everything seems okay. Not sure I've ever gotten a B+ shock. Let go there, buddy. This goes on over here now. Don't need that. Go right here. So this is now the detected signal, so we're going to get a straight line going in one direction because it's detected and filtered too. Okay, radio on. There we go. So there's no DC traveling here. There's a tiny DC in there. Not enough to show. Here's the shape. Can you see the shape? The shape is right there. I can see it. Let's make things a little more sensitive. Hey, it looks rounder, doesn't it? And move the other signal generator is fine. We'll change the input level here. Oh, look at this. Is that to say it looks like that because it's overloaded? And that's really what I was dealing with? An overloaded radio. And if we don't overload it, we get that. All these things seem so straightforward when you read them in the book, you know. Hook up your equipment, adjust the thing, it's all done. Beautiful. But when you go to do it, there's all these little side things that show up. And if the 455 is still where it was, it's here. It's not there. It's here. It's on this line. Let's double check that. So we're going to bring the 455 back into the picture. 455 is there. You can see it, yeah. It's right on the center of this peak. It's not on the line here. Something else could have drifted a bit. So that's great. So all we can really do here. Hey, what's going on? My meter's in reverse here. How come? Okay, so it's been about an hour since our last bit you were just watching, and the sudden end came when my hard drive got jammed. Didn't pay enough attention, so I carried on another 5 or 10 minutes further with what I was doing. I think at the time what you saw me was discovering that the AVC voltage goes positive for some reason, and I don't know what that reason is. I'm not sure how much got on the video, but I got down to the last transformer here, and then everything quit. So well, I'm going to stop for today, obviously, and I'm going to carry on tomorrow. And there was something I was going to say which I've forgotten now, about what a good idea I had, which I also forgot. So hopefully I'll remember before tomorrow. So thanks a lot for watching, and we will carry on with this tomorrow. See ya.